I have a selection of spanners here to talk to you with you about. Now this little puppy is called an open-ended spanner, and the reason it's open-ended or double open-ended is because both sides are open. Okay. Now these tools, they're good, but they're not as good as a combination spanner, which has the ring part on one end and the open-ended at the other. But this type do come in handy. So I'm just going to talk about this type first for the time being. Now the open-ended bits slide onto a nut or a bolt, and then you can turn the nut undo or do up, okay? Now these spanners, the open bit is on a 15-degree angle or so, around about there. So what can happen is you can use the spanner in a tight location or situation, and then once you turn it a little bit, you can take it out, flick it round, put it back on, turn it, take it out, flick it round, put it back on, turn it, okay? So these spanners are good for that sort of thing, and they're really good for holding a bolt, and then you hold the bolt with one of these and then use a combination or a ring spanner on the other end of the nut, and because these it won't slip off holding onto the nut. Where these little guys, if you hold onto your nut or your bolt, they have a tendency to slide off and round the nut or the bolt. But these are good. This little guy is really good because he's very skinny, and he'll go into like a situation or a place where you need a skinny spanner to get into. But if I was buying a set of spanners, I wouldn't be buying one of these to start with. I would be buying a combination set, which is this one, has both. So here we have a bolt in the vise that I've tightened it up in there so I can just explain to you. And I've got my open-ended spanner here. And if I put it on there, there's only 2 points of contact on that bolt. And if I try and undo it, it'll slide off. But if I use this one, this has 12 points of contact. But when you stick it on the bolt, it has 6 points of contact. So I can put it on there, I can put it on there, and put it on there. So it's a lot more versatile, the combination spanner. And if I try and slide that off now, it's not going to slide off. So that's why the combination tool is a good spanner to have. When you're buying this as a kit, ask for a set that is obviously good quality because you don't want them breaking, but also from a very small size to say 6mm all the way through to as large as you can get, because if you have the whole set all the way through, and let's say it has a 15 and a 16mm spanners in it, look, you don't need a 15 and 16mm spanner very often because it's an unusual size, but every now and then you do need it. So when you need it, it's good to have. And some modern motor cars these days, they use 15mm or they use 16 or they use 20, which are not the most common sizes. So this guy's called a ring spanner, and it's got the ring sizes on both ends. The good thing about this ring spanner is it's long, so you get more torque. Now these come in a set, and they're fantastic for a mechanic or a home handyman because you get extra force with them. So if you're trying to do up a nut or a bolt, you don't need as much force because you got extra leverage, so they're longer. Now we have pipe spanner. Pipe spanner has 5 points of contact, and these are good for like doing brakes, brake hoses, hydraulic hoses. So you can actually slide this spanner over the hydraulic hose or the brake pipe and slide it down to the nut, which has the pipe running through it, or the flange, whatever you want to call it, and then you can do it up or undo it, and it won't round the nut. And here we have like a combination spanner, but it's a ratchet type, so you can just move it backwards and forwards. It'll do its ratchety thing. Flick it around the other way, now it goes the opposite way. So this can go like this, so you can go like this in a tight situation, or you can move it up there and go like that. If you need to go a different direction, you just flick it over and it'll go the other direction. These are great little tools. You don't want to get them wet though, because if they get water inside there, they don't work as good. So if you do get them wet, I normally soak mine in oil for a bit, or CRC, and give it a wipe down. Now this guy here is the same, but it won't swivel. This is just locked on. It's like a combination, and it's got a ratchet. But this one has a little lever on it. I'll just show you the lever. There's the lever there. So that goes that way. If I flick the lever, now it goes the other way. So I don't have to take it off and flick it over. You just slide the lever across. So say we have a combination spanner, and this combination spanner is on a nut, and I'm trying to undo the nut, right? So I'm trying to undo the nut. I'm pulling it towards me, because when you pull towards you, you got more control. So you always try and undo the nut by pulling it towards you, because then if it gives way, all of a sudden you've got more control to stop it. If you're trying to undo it by doing it that way, and all of a sudden it lets go, you can fly into stuff. So always when you're trying to undo a nut, try and pull it towards you, or you're doing up a nut, pull it towards you. That's a good trick, okay? Now, this little puppy, if you're trying to undo a nut and it won't undo because you don't have enough leverage, you can get a pipe and put a pipe over it so you get a bit more leverage, but you've got to be careful you don't snap the nut or the bolt, okay? But this is how I do it if I need a bit of extra leverage. I get a bigger size combination spanner, and I lock it into the spanner, and now that's good to go. So now you can, I'll pull it towards you because I'm trying to teach you the right thing, and now you can pull it towards you and it holds, okay? Or the other way around, you can go the other way, where if I want to do it up and make it a bit tighter, I can lock it in. So here's the spanner, and it just goes in like so, and now it's locked, okay? And then you can just say this is on a nut, you can pull it towards you and it's locked, or it does them up. Now, it's very embarrassing, but I do have the special tool that does that. In fact, I've never seen another one of these, and I got it from a friend, but I don't know what it's called. So spanner extender, or look, I don't know. So what you do is you hold you got your spanner, this just clicks in like that, and now it's locked, and you can just, or do the other way around. Here's your spanner, this just locks in, and then that goes that way. We want to go that way, we want to go this way, so we go like that, it'll lock in and it'll pull it towards you. So it's just a little tool that you can get. If you look on eBay, you will find them. And then we have a spanner which is like half moon spanner. So it's like called a half moon spanner or C spanner, and that's for getting into hard situations where you can't get a normal spanner in because it's straight, but this guy's bent, so you can stick him in and then you can lift it up, move it, lift it up, move it. So what else can I tell you about spanners? There's a ring spanner here as well. These are great. So there's all different types, different quality you can buy when you go to the tool shop to buy. If you ask the tool salesman, he will point you in the right direction, what's good or bad. Look, you might need a cheap set, and that might get you through life or whatever. But if you're going to tinker around with your car, you probably need to get a reasonably good set. And normally for the modern motor car these days, most of it's metric. But if you work on a lot of old English cars, then you want imperial. So then you can buy an imperial set of spanners that are different sizes to fit the different nuts and bolts on an old English car, because it's imperial, okay? There's my spanners.